tariff threat or this jobs report?
It's definitely the tariffs. Look, I don't think a weaker than expected jobs report really helped the situation, but the market is really concerned about these additional potential tariffs, and more so the escalating rhetoric from President Trump. You know, they see this as provoking our biggest trading partner, and our biggest trading partner, China, has other levers it can pull. This is a fairly risky way traders and even executives in the C-suite think to get to the negotiating table, right? China can pull a bunch of other levers here on the economic front. It could make it difficult for U.S. companies to do business there, for example. It could limit tourism dollars coming into the U.S. These are all things that investors and traders are talking about when you're publicly provoking your biggest trading partner in what attempts to be sort of a political message to really rally the base. And that is what is concerning traders here today. We're down more than we were earlier this morning, and so we're going to be monitoring the situation very closely.
All right, Christina Alessi, we do appreciate the report. The president's talk of new tariffs has China already issuing threats of another wave of retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. Could it be that this is simply a negotiating tactic or something more? CNN's Jeff Zeleny at the White House live for us. And Jeff, just minutes ago, you heard from the president's chief economic advisor. What did he say?
We did, Brianna. Good morning. The reality here is Larry Kudlow, the president's chief economic advisor, has been coming out and speaking virtually every day for the last several days here, trying to ratchet down the rhetoric and trying to explain that this is all part of a process, that this is something that is being negotiated very much in public. But this is what he said a short time ago when we caught up with him on the North Lawn here at the White House.
We're not running a trade war. If you read this thing, you'll see this is just a proposed idea which will be vetted by USTR and then open for public comment. So nothing's happened. Nothing's been executed. I read about how there's no there yet, but there will be.
So, Brianna, this is something we've heard all week long from Larry Kudlow, who, of course, is basically on his first week on the job here, fresh off the commentary side of things at CNBC. He's saying this is a process. This is an ongoing negotiation, a discussion. He said nothing is happening, but in fact things are happening. Look at the markets there. So I can tell you the White House is watching the markets very carefully, particularly that lackluster jobs report earlier this morning.
And Jeff, moments ago, the president weighed in on Scott Pruitt, his embattled EPA chief. What did he say?
He did indeed. This is something that we've been watching here very carefully. The headlines are racking up against the EPA administrator, for misspending for a variety of conduct. The president is saying he is still with him, but our reporting this week also suggests the president had still been earlier this week considering him as a potential replacement to Jeff Sessions as Attorney General, perhaps acting Attorney General, because he is already a confirmed cabinet secretary. That is likely now not to happen, but the president weighing in on that a short time ago, this is what he said. He said, "Do you believe that the fake news media is pushing hard on the story that I'm going to replace Attorney General Jeff Sessions with EPA Chief Scott Pruitt, who's doing a great job but is totally under siege? Do people really believe that stuff?" So, Brianna, interesting on a couple of levels here. He does say he is doing a great job, so a vote of confidence in one respect, but also saying totally under siege. One thing that is different to point out here, as we think of all the other secretaries and top officials who have left this White House, Scott Pruitt has a lot of conservative support here in the business community from others about the regulations and things he's actually doing at EPA. The Wall Street Journal having a very strong editorial of support for him this morning, telling the president to stand by him, and he's hearing from a lot of business leaders, so that is what is different here. They like what he is doing at the EPA, rolling back a lot of Obama-era regulations here. We'll see if that wins out or these negative headlines in the mind of the president, because, of course, this is the president's ultimate decision. Brianna.
Jeff Zeleny, thank you. And there's a lot to break down. Let's discuss this with